Hello, my friends. This is Alex from Barcelona. I want to explain to you today what I call the five-step calling technique and why that technique is that important for your telephone calls. That technique is that important because on the telephone calls that you are placing, you have to understand that these telephone calls, they have a beginning and they have also an end. So you don't call someone forever. Every call, every lead that you contact and you start calling, you start on a specific day and you close that on another specific day. So you know that from the moment that you are placing a telephone call, from the first time that you are placing a telephone call, you know that in a specific amount of time, this lead either is going to be converted to an opportunity or to a successful deal, or it's going to be closed. It's not going to stay there forever. So the five-step calling technique. Let's start with step number one, which is we place a call on our prospect, and let's say this call, our prospect is not available. So what do we do? What means not available? Not available means that either we hit on the secretary and she tells us that he's not there, either because he's not there or because she's lying, doesn't matter, or we place a call and nobody picks up the phone. That is a lead that has been contacted. This guy is not available. So what we do, we take no action. However, what we do on this first day, we search on LinkedIn and we find his address on LinkedIn, if he's on LinkedIn, of course, and we place a connect request on his LinkedIn account. And that is what happens on day one. The first day is step number one, the telephone call number one. The step number two takes place on the day number two, on the following day. So that means if we called on Monday, then on Tuesday, we're going to place our second telephone call. And let's assume that this time, again, nobody picks up the phone, or again, is the secretary there and he's not available. What we do is we send him an email. Now, either we have his email from before, where we sent him an email, or if we don't have his email, we ask the secretary for his personal email address. If she gives you his personal email address, then you are going to send him an email on this address. If she gives you a generic email address, like an info@email address, you are going to refuse accepting this email address. Instead, you're going to ask her to give you her personal email address so that she can forward the email to him. If she refuses, you are going to refuse to accept a generic email address as an info email address, as this email that you're going to send her, it's going to most likely end on the garbage bin of the company. Besides that, you de-evaluate yourself and you put yourself in the same position that somebody's sending spam emails or from a big marketing company that send generic emails. So you do not accept an info email address. You don't send emails to these email addresses. Instead, either you have the email address so there is no need for asking for an email address. If you don't, you ask for his personal email address. If she doesn't give you the email address, then what you do, you ask for the secretary's personal email address. And you send an email to your prospect. That is what you do the day two. The step number three takes place on day number four. So it doesn't take place the next day, but the day after that. So day number four, so if we started on Monday, then Tuesday is day number two, then Wednesday is day number three, where nothing happens, and day number four, if we didn't receive a response from his email, then what we do is we call again, and if he again is not available, what we're going to do on day number four, we're going to thank the secretary, or we're going to close the telephone if nobody picked up the telephone, And what we're going to do is we're going to go back to see on LinkedIn to see if he connected with us on LinkedIn. And if he did so, then we are going to send him the email that we sent him on day 2. We're going to send him on his LinkedIn email address. That happens on day 4. Step number 4 happens on day number 6. So we leave another 2 days to pass, and then what we do is we call again. If he's not there, we take no action, and what we do is we are going to go to step number 5, which takes place on day number 20, 14 days after. Why is that? The reason why we are going to contact him again after 2 weeks is because he is on holidays, which means if he's on holidays, no matter how many emails you're going to send him, how many times you're going to call him, or how many LinkedIn messages you're going to send him, he's not going to respond. So we call again on day number 20, and if nobody picks up the phone again or he's not available, what we do on number 20 is we send him a final email and we close the case. After 20 days, we close the case, period. This guy goes on the pool with the closed emails, which maybe if we want, we can use them in the future, but that's a different story. Now, like on every rule, there are also exceptions. What are the exceptions? Sales are not done it's not mathematics. It's something that requires soft skills and requires also the ability to understand certain situations. So, first of all, there are 3 exceptions. You might are going to be told that you have to call him on a specific day in the future. So maybe the secretary is going to tell you, okay, he's not available right now, he's very busy, call him please after 1 month. Then you're going to put the date to call him 1 month later. Obviously, you're not going to call after 2 days again. She told you he's going to be there after 1 month. So makes sense, no? Exception number 2, follow your heart. What is your feeling? You maybe call there and the secretary tells you, well, he just left. Or you call and you have the feeling that this guy is around there, but you never can catch him. Then call another couple of times. Obviously, follow your heart. It's not written to stone. This is a guideline. But if you feel you should call 1 or 2 times more, do so. Call 1 or 2 times more. And the third exception is accelerate the process. There are certain selling scenarios where you don't have the time and the luxury to wait 20 days. You want to have an answer now, as soon as possible. So my advice is place the first 3 calls, do the first call, send the email, linking him, and if he doesn't answer, close on step number 3. I do not recommend that, but on many cases, that is the best way to go. I hope this was a useful video. You should remember one thing out of this video. From the moment that you place a telephone call, this lead is going to drive to a result within a certain period of time. Either it's going to be a won deal, or it's going to be created an opportunity, or it's going to be lost or not responsive and closed. You're not going to have leads there forever. Thank you very much.